What is up, beautiful souls? Today we're going to be talking about something that I feel is looked over a lot of the time. And I've tried to make this video many times, and every time I'm like, okay, let's make it right now. It's just not coming through the way I'm envisioning it, but I think I can put it together now. So we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome and basically believing that you are someone that you're not. I feel over the past decade, more in like the last 5 years, people have been really embracing who they are. Therefore, that comes with a mix of emotion because there's one side of it where we're starting to not care what people think as much and being our genuine selves. But then you have the other side of it where you feel like you're just weird and like crazy because you're so out there and you're just not caring what people think. But then you have the other side of it where it's like, oh, am I being judged? Am I too weird? What if you believing that and thinking that, am I too weird, or being worried about being too much or too loud, is causing you to be not genuine? What if you being in that constant state of worry is making it so you're actually not authentically being yourself? You're being this person that you believe doesn't care what people think, and you're almost making yourself do it. What if that state of being is causing you to question who you are? And so, what do we do from there? We have to realize that that version of ourselves, that personality, is something that we created, right? So it's not necessarily that we're being inauthentic, so to say. It could also be that it's this version of ourselves that we created through fear, fear of rejection, fear of approval of other people, that we created this almost like entity of itself, and that entity is always craving more because that's the whole point of it, is to be able to show people like, hey, I'm out there, I'm doing my thing, but not being concerned of what they think. Because the reality is, I was thinking the other day too, like, why do we care so much what other people think? And the reality is, like, we want to be accepted. We want people to value us, to cherish our presence. And when we feel like someone is rejecting us, which, as we all know, rejection is God's protection, there's a reason. Anytime you feel rejected or hurt by somebody, there is a reason for it. And most of the time, you're being protected. But besides the point, we want to feel accepted. We want to feel love. That is what we are all seeking. And this character that we create in our mind, that of our worst fears of what people are going to think, that we're crazy, we're too much, just because we're waking up and realizing. And I'm not saying don't take accountability for your actions. Obviously, we need to do that, right? We need to make our side of the street clean, always. What I'm saying is, really, you are not any of that. And that's just one version of me that maybe is a reflection of you if you're resonating with this, but we do not have to identify with that creation, if that makes sense. Because what if that version, even though it is a part of us, is just not the most authentic version that we need to be exploring? And obviously there's a reason why we lean towards that entity or that version of ourselves, because we need to learn a lesson, and that's the only way that we're able to learn that. But also recognizing that it's a part of you, but it's not who you are, because who you are at a deeper soul level is much deeper than you can even explain in human terms. Like, we are still trying to learn about that, even though it always is. It's always there. There's always a presence of who you are as a soul. And if we quiet the mind and we listen, it's going to reveal itself to you. Because I believe, even though we each have our own individual purpose, it's not linear. Like, it's not just one thing is our purpose. And so being able to overcome that entity, that energy, and I'm not saying as in like entity as in spirit, it's just an energetic version of us that may not be the most authentic version of ourselves. And so being able to discern and recognize, like, that's just a personality, a viewpoint of myself that I've learned from, being told I wasn't good enough in the past, or being treated like crap and not realizing why I not fully learning those lessons, because that's not who you truly are. And if we are able to overcome that and separate that from our true self, I'm not trying to say to push away or to not heal whatever is behind the emotions that we're feeling in that version of ourselves. That's the whole point, because the only way we know of that version of ourselves is because we've embodied it before, and we're able to now, as we come into more of a conscious awareness of who we truly are, separate that from our identity, if that makes sense. So my main point here is not identifying with that version of fear, rejection, thoughts of not good enough. That's just a part of you that is still healing from what that part has seen, felt, and heard throughout their entire life and past lives as well. So be patient with yourself. Once the mind is able to comprehend those parts and you step into more of an empowered version of yourself, you're going to be able to recognize and learn from that perspective, that embodiment of your smaller self. So anyways, I think I feel like that kind of just ties everything together. If you guys want to add anything else in the comments, I would love to hear your perspective as well. I think it's beautiful that we are starting to really become conscious of who we are, what we're doing, what we're thinking, what we're saying, and being very aware of a deeper understanding that we are not what we did in the past. We are not out here being punished. We are learning and we are forgiven right now, no matter what. I love you guys. And if you can resonate with that, give me a like and a follow, and I will see you beautiful souls next time.